Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. So for those who don't know, I'm Alicia and I've been interviewing inspirational people to find out how they've become the person they are today. Now this week I interviewed artist Laurence White to find out how he's become successful within the industry and how he ended up going into TV and working on different TV sets. Here's how it went. Would you mind just introducing yourself on what you do, what's your name, where'd you come from?
So I'm Laurence, well, on Instagram, Laurence M. White, and I am an artist based in Essex, and I paint big portraits. I'm not sure if you can see that in the background, but I paint big portraits of icons and successful people, really.
That's fantastic. So how did you get into art?
So I was always like half decent at it, going through school and onto college and stuff. But then I had to kind of make the decision of whether to go to university and do like a proper degree or to carry on doing art. I decided to then just go down the boring route because I thought that was kind of, being honest, was probably the quickest way to try and make a lot of money. And anyway, I went for uni, ended up coming out going into TV. And where you're in TV, once one show finishes, once you've finished working on one show, there's often quite a bit of time between one show and another show you're working on. And so eventually, kind of 7 years after doing that, which was like a year and a half ago now, I got into just doing some painting, just something to do in the spare time, really. But it just so happened that my friend was on Love Island, and he ended up buying my first painting. He posted it on his social media and kind of, I haven't really stopped painting since, to be honest. So yeah, that's kind of the basics of how I got into it.
That's fantastic. Now, you said that you've only been doing it for about a year and a half. That's not that long in theory for what most artists are going. Now, what would you say is your biggest moment so far?
It can really come quite early on. It was when Ice Cube. This was at the very beginning, so I wasn't really I literally just started, and I did a painting in my local barbershop. And I just tweeted it out, and then a couple of months went past, and then all of a sudden I just got no, I didn't get tagged. I got tagged on Twitter, which is how I knew. And Ice Cube basically tweeted the painting that I did of him, which was mental. Yeah, it was crazy. And then he also put it on his Instagram as well. So that was that was probably the first amazing moment. But yeah, I've gone on to paint for like Will I Am, Umar Kamani, who's the guy who owns Pretty Little Thing, a few other reality celebrities, a girl from the Pussycat Dolls. So yeah, a few decent clients in there, I guess.
Just a few. Would you say that having that connection with the celebrities has helped you to be a success with your artwork?
Yeah, yes and no. Well, no, yeah, definitely has helped for sure. I think what's helped most is just seeing them, because I do a lot of used to do a lot of reality TV.
Okay.
But so just seeing how they interact on social media, how they do it, has been very getting comfortable to the idea of putting yourself out there and all that kind of stuff, which I don't necessarily think I would have been as comfortable as I am now putting out so much content if I would have gone into, say, a banking job or something like that, you know?
Yeah. What would you say has been the wackiest thing you've ever been asked to paint?
I wouldn't say it was I wouldn't say it was wacky. I think it was just a bit out of the norm that I usually do. It was when Chloe Ferry, one of the girls on Geordie Shore, she wanted a painting of her bum. And so yeah. So well, I mean, I say just of her bum. She's kind of getting out of the of a pool set. She's getting out of the pool, and it's just basically a bum, a big old bum, just
Fair enough.
in your face. So that was, yeah, I mean, to be fair, it looked quite classy in the end, but it was just a little bit out of what I normally do, which is kind of close up, big faces.
I suppose that pushed you out of your comfort zone though to do something different. I can imagine it's quite a self-critical job doing artwork. How do you kind of overcome that to say, no, right, my artwork is good and carry on going?
Being in TV and like kind of, you get a lot of knocks and you kind of build your self confidence. So I guess like, well, or even just growing up a little bit, like over the years, I've just kind of become confident in myself, and I am much more critical of myself than probably the client is. So something that I think isn't quite right, they often wouldn't really know. But as long as I stay like that, then I feel like I'm just ahead of them almost, in terms of like, if I'm happy with it in the end, touch wood, everyone has been happy with it, you know?
Yeah, no, I completely get that. So you worked in TV or work in TV. You've worked
Yeah.
on programs such as X Factor, I'm a Celebrity, The Voice.
Towie, yeah, Towie, most of the Apprentice, all those kind of ones, yeah.
So how did all that come about?
So I come out of uni, like I said, I wanted to make a lot of money. But what ended up happening is that I was out of a job for a good couple of months. I ended up going into like like a Wolf of Wall Street, like trying to sell stocks and shares. But I absolutely hated it. I quit after like the first day or first 2 days or something. So I was out, and then I was out of work again for a long period of time. And basically my mum was like, you're living at home, you're going to have to start paying something. And so she was like, you're going to get a job.
Yeah.
And we were lucky enough that our family friend of ours was a producer on X Factor in kind of its heyday. And they needed an extra runner to come and help out for the weekend. So I went in for the live shows, the big bars of like live shows and that kind of stuff. Simon Cowell walking down the corridor and Cheryl Cole and all that kind of stuff, which was amazing. I did that weekend of work. And then the following week, so at Ryland's birthday party, who he was a contestant at the time, I think, I'm pretty sure, yeah. Anyway, one of the runners did some naughty business with one of the other contestants, which you're not allowed to do. And so she then got fired, and that kind of opened up a position for me. And then I kind of stayed on for the rest of that series till Christmas, because at the time it was like, it would go on for like 10 weeks or something, the live shows. Did the rest of those, and then I went from there to Britain's Got Talent, to there, and then on to Geordie Shore and other programs from there.
How fantastic. Obviously, you said that you came out of university, didn't have a job or anything, went to Wolf of Wall Street as such, hated it and quit. At that point, what made you keep going?
I just knew that I hate answering the phone, and so that job was literally, you had a script, and you basically just had to read off to rich old people, just basically read the script and try and get them to buy like rare metals and stuff like that, and plus you had to do it like 200-300 times a day. And I'd only just come out of uni. I was like, I just looked forward and I was like, I can't see myself doing this for the rest of my life. So yeah, I mean, that was a pretty simple decision. I think what's a more difficult decision is this kind of balance of the art kind of taking off, but also loving TV and having built a career in TV, if you know what I mean.
Completely get that. Funny enough, that was going to be my next question, is how do you balance, obviously TV you film for hours, painting an artwork, I'm sure that's not a 5-minute job, so how do you balance the two?
Yeah, I mean, I'm always a little bit not nervous, but like I always had to double think when I was first putting out my artwork, because in TV it's very much like who you know and whatnot and that kind of stuff. So if they don't think that you're in TV, or heart's not necessarily in it, which is never the case, because I'll do the job and then just do art where I can. But I'm always worried that they will then forget about me, etc. And also there's that balance of like, when you're earning enough from doing art, does it make it financially better off to do that than work, and etc. So that's kind of all a bit of a process in itself and stuff. But yeah, the long and short of it is that you're working 2 jobs. So going to work all day, TV is long hours as well. And then I would, come home and just paint in the evenings to kind of 2 a.m. kind of thing. And yeah, it is hard work. It's really hard work. I mean, I've never gone into it before, but like last year I did have a crash in my car because I just fell asleep because I was that tired, kind of trying to juggle the two. And that's not a sympathy story, but it's kind of like I was taking it to the extreme, and I've kind of calmed it down a little bit. Like if I feel like I need to sleep and it's getting late, like I'll do that rather than push myself to the absolute max, because I think that if you use your time effectively, you can get everything done in decent hours anyway.
Yeah. So would you say that looking after yourself, number one as such, first, is the importance of being successful?
Yes, if you mean in all facets of that, so like, you know, staying healthy and all that kind of stuff, yeah, for sure. But I think it comes down to mindset.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that I'm going to win on Instagram, on social media, and become big because the way I'm thinking about it, I feel like it's different to what's out there already. Not like in a dramatic kind of way, but I'm just focusing so much on brand, and getting myself out there. Doing this interview, for example, like, you tell me how many artists are doing this three times a week, chatting to various people and podcasts and stuff like that, you know? So it's just, you know, some people see it like, you know, like traditional art, which is kind of probably why I didn't even do it in the first place, because it was too, like, the traditional route is to go into a gallery and all that kind of stuff, and it's so subjective whether people like it. And when I was doing art, like, 10 years ago, there wasn't Instagram. Like, Facebook was just becoming like a proper thing, or was a thing. I mean, but it wasn't at the scale where you put yourself out there like you can now on Instagram. And so there wasn't that kind of route where a lot of people could see your work and kind of, I guess, not necessarily critique, but if they liked it, they could even, you know, buy it and whatnot. So yeah, it's kind of changed. It's changed in that period, you know?
A lot of people use art as a bit of downtime, something to kind of relax. Obviously, this artwork is it's your job. So what do you do as your downtime?
There ain't time. I've got a girlfriend now, so I just see her. Like, if I'm not painting, I'm probably doing that, or I do really like the gym and stuff, but obviously it's closed at the moment given that it's locked down. But, you know, for example, I'll go out after this for a run and then just carry on painting. But I think that my actions have got to match my ambition, and I want to become bigger than, well, I say bigger than I already am, but I want to become big. So, like, there isn't time to there isn't time for, like, just knocking about and whatnot.
Eat, sleep, and breathe it, as they say.
Yeah, like, definitely, because if I'm not doing actual painting, I am on social media, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, putting myself out there, answering messages. I've just started a text community, which is I'm really excited about, and I spend more time on social media and brand building essentially than actually the paintings itself.
Okay, so you just mentioned your text community. What's
Yep.
all that about? What does it entail?
So basically, I don't really read my email too much, and so I wanted a way to be able to drop, like, exclusive bits and just unseen stuff, and create, like, a community, like, and be a part of, like, a little movement, even if it's nice and small, but, you know, even if it's small, it's just kind of like, just on a deeper level, interacting with your customer and stuff. And so it's just something a little bit different. And again, I feel like, I mean, you tell me another artist that's got a text community, you know? And like I said, I'm literally just started it, so I'm not talking as like I'm an expert, but I just think that if, say, for example, I'm trying to sell a print and I want to do that, I can put that out to these guys first in a broadcast WhatsApp message. And then they've got the chance to kind of, well, buy it ahead of everyone else, if they want, you know? And so they're getting to see, like, little bits and pieces that I'm working on and that kind of stuff, which you don't necessarily always see on Instagram. And furthermore, I think that on Instagram and the social media outlets, you are very much at the mercy of their algorithm. And I don't know if you know or not, but Instagram's has been going down badly for a long time now. Facebook's non-existent. And, like, by having people's phone numbers, not to bombard them, but I've got their direct contact. And so from that, I can get to those people. I'm not subject to the algorithms. Does that make sense? I feel like that's a long-winded way of saying it.
No, that does make complete sense, and it's a very good idea to, like you say, have their numbers. So if the social media platforms start going down, then you've still got a way to get your art across. So I think it's a fantastic idea.
Yeah, because I think that, like, I look at some of my favorite artists and I was like, well, if they did like a similar text, I feel like that's just a real casual, like a chilled way of just getting direct to your or potential consumer, you know, and your community to, you know, and then if they've got any questions about, I don't know, sizing, framing, what would this cost me, or I'm thinking about painting this picture, you know, or whatnot, like I can just I'm on my WhatsApps all day, so I can just get back to them directly instead. Like emails a bit clunky, you know, text feels a bit long. So yeah, it seems like the right thing to do at this kind of time.
That makes complete sense. Now, I know this is going to be a bit of how long's a piece of string sort of question, but what sort of price ranges are your artwork?
So a print is about 250. Well, not about. They're £250 at the moment, and that's for like a framed print. And then my artworks start from anywhere from 2,000 upwards.
Okay.
The prints are usually 10% roughly of the painting price of an original, and I kind of almost do like a standard size. So I do like a metre by a metre for an original painting. So they're quite big, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I can see the two in the background where you kind of get sort of size there.
Yeah.
Very good. Now, my final question is, if someone wants to go into the artist industry, if they're just starting out, what's your biggest advice?
Yeah, I think I found that people really like following me, I guess, because I put so much of the process out there. I'm not afraid to put up like a half-finished painting, or you know, ask my audience, do they think this is good or bad or anything like that. But more to the point, and which is what I'm trying to do still, because I've got my style at the moment, but I feel like I'm just like I'm like one piece away from getting my style just how I want it to be. And I think that I'm nearly there with the Michael Jackson piece that I'm working on at the moment, which is kind of integrating some flicking of the paint with my original style. But my point being is that just trying, and it's once you've got a thing that's working, you don't necessarily want to kind of veer away, but I'm just trying to make my paintings better and better. So I think my biggest advice is just to kind of try it and experiment, you know. But if the question was, say, for example, how do I build an art brand and get more followers as quickly as possible, I found that don't be afraid to put out as much content as you possibly can, and also do free work in the beginning to be able to get to bigger people, etc., you know, and that can in turn come back to you in a lot of ways, you know.
That's fantastic. Well, thank you very much. Thank you for agreeing to do this as well.
No, thank you. Hopefully that's helped someone or interested someone.
Now, I hope you all enjoyed that interview. I know what stood out for me was when Laurence was talking about, you know, that balance between work and rest. You can work your socks off, but it is so important that you make sure you get that rest. You know, Laurence had a car accident because he was working so much. And I think that's really important for us all to remember, that we need to look after ourselves in whatever we do, and we can still be successful if we're looking after ourselves and taking care and not running ourselves into the ground. You can follow Laurence here and see all the different exciting artwork that's coming up soon. Now, if you have someone that inspires you, comment below. I'm always so interested to find out who others find inspirational. Likewise, if you have an inspirational story to tell, comment below, drop me a message on social media, or even drop me an email. On Wednesday at 5 o'clock, I'll be speaking with successful YouTuber and entrepreneur Mike Winnett to find out how he's become successful and what made him start YouTubing. If you've enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, give it a comment below, and don't forget to hit subscribe. See you all on Wednesday. See you later.